So with our handsome Mr. P, ready, Peter? We're gonna go and practice a little bit with maybe some of our sort of take it and drop it exercises or give or out, but maybe with, for example, the flirt pole. So I know we've dived into a little bit of play for all of the men here and there, but it can be a really great venue for them to get more comfortable as they get excited, being able to come back into that thinking mode. Right here, beautiful. So as opposed to him jumping on me where he's a little excited or a little unsure, I'm going to capture all the four on the floor. Or for example, if he's sitting or downing, I'm going to capture those moments too for really great reinforcement. So I'm going to grab one of the toys. And two, as I'm going, I'm also breaking up his cheese chunks. They're very nice and thankfully they're easy to break. But I would recommend for your treats, you don't worry if you packed bigger snacks, but you want your goodies to be, he's like, oh, I'll eat it. Small enough where they're smaller than, like, let's say your pinky nail if you've got short fingernails. If he's like, I'm ready, lady. So, all right, we'll start playing and then I'll keep blabbing. So we'll go ahead. We'll do, are you ready? Are you ready? Go get it. And now my toy is alive. Greatest day ever. So when you're using your food, I'd recommend itty bitty little bits. So that way they're not going through so much food so quickly. But then also you can have more chances to reinforce more moments in your practice. If you had one cheese stick and they were broken up into 10 pieces, that's only 10 reps of something you could practice. Where if your cheese stick could get broken up into, let's say, 30 or more little pieces, that means you've got 30 great moments to practice skills, behaviors, or reinforce things you'd like to have happen again. So right now, sometimes as I'm blabbing, I'm also breaking up some of these snacks in my little treat pouch. She's like, oh my gosh, it squeaks. How amazing. So when it comes to flirt pole play, I know we've discussed some safety. I would highly recommend to work this outside in a bubble that is comfortable for you and for him. But the benefits of sometimes getting some of this toy practice with getting excited and coming back from it is that now this is the target, not the cats, or this is the target, not your pants, so whatever it might be. So right here, I might, for a moment, just to get him up and wiggling, I might do a little find it, get him up and get away from his toy. Then I might collect it. He's like, lady, I'm ready. And I might say, you ready? Go get it. So I want to almost create a starting point and then, for example, a stopping. So right now, the toy is alive, so we're chasing it, and we're going to try to catch that bad boy. You'll see that I keep it low and on the ground. So Mr. P is not following it up into the sky. If by accident you go to lift it up and he jumps and lands funny, he could hurt himself. But also because he's a puppy, we want to not do this too hardcore because he's still developing and growing. So I know we mentioned this a little bit with Mr. O as well. So, but let's say he catches the critter, as opposed to me going and trying to pull it from his mouth or yank it out of him. I might even, when he stops biting it, good job, feed for letting go. So even though the toy is right there and I'm not taking it away, I'm not making it come alive again, I just want him to think that sometimes when we take a little break, that there's value in pausing. So right here I might go, Peter, yes, and feed for a little bit of name recognition. So you can kind of sometimes go through your different options for skills and see which one makes more sense for Mr. P at times. So let's say right here we might do a little find it. Nice. If let's say that gets him up and wiggling, awesome. Then we might go again, Peter, ready? Find it to get him up and moving. Then I might go, you ready? And then the toy comes alive again. So you could say, you ready? And then go get it. Whatever works for you guys. But you'll see I do nice big swooshing motions. Of course, one of his snacks just fell right out of his mouth. So he'll have to go eat that one later. Good catch. So we do want to make sure he is able to catch the critter. Otherwise, it does become a little too frustrating. And I don't want him to think that it's always the thing he can never quite reach. And then that becomes really sad. So right here, yes, nice. That's not the edible part, but we can pretend. Peter was like, maybe the pole tastes really nice. So when it comes to practicing, I might even, though, leave the toy on the ground. And remember how we did the toy exchange game where there were several little items on the floor and we could rotate through those toys or different items or different foods, different chews. You want to make it where even though this item is on the floor, he could take a pause and do a couple other little tidbits, which could be find its, could be maybe a little bit moment where maybe we might get his little attention on us. Oh my goodness, chewing and breathing is hard. You got it there, sir? He's like, nope, has to come out. You got it? Oh my goodness, that's so hard chewing. So we might go right here, yes, and feed for some nice relaxed moments or some check-ins with some eyes. Yes, we have the funny noises again from the building. We might go, you ready? Go get it. And so now my toy is alive again and we can chase that bad boy around. Oh my goodness, he almost caught him. So close. So again, keep it low, and I'm sorry about my back end being towards the camera. But this has been really, really nice practice for Mr. P. But I find that a lot of dog behavioral problems, as we call them, tend to be puppies or dogs that don't have outlets, or puppies and dogs that are not always necessarily given dog-centric, things to work on. So I'm not saying 24/7 are you going to be working this handsome guy until he's pooped out, because then technically we're also forgetting, ready, Peter, to work the mental aspect of things. So you'll see that throughout the play, we take little pauses. We might do a little check-in with a little sitting position. If your puppy's unable to think and give other skills, then maybe we're getting them too jazzed. And remember that your puppy, just like small humans, they are learning how to regulate those feelings. So if the only way we expend more energy is by going crazy and then giving more fuel to that fire, it's kind of like me taking my littles to Chuck E. Cheese when they've already had several meltdowns and they're losing their marbles because they're overtired or they're overstimulated. And then I'm going to wonder why I decided to do the things that I did. So we may find, ready, go get it, is that it is nice to add play and some of this great practice, but I would make sure that it's almost like soccer camp. There is thinking going on while there's also energy expending. Because if it's only go, go, go with no brain function, then you're more than likely going to create an athlete you'll never keep up with, and a puppy that goes from 0 to 100 and takes a teeny weeny little break and then goes right back to needing even more energy expending. So I would highly recommend a nice trail mix of mental, physical, and sometimes both together to make sure your puppy is well-rounded in being able to function through sometimes over-arousal that happens when you're a baby and you're going through teenagehood. So again, right here, we get the he lost his chicken or whatever, his little cheese, I mean. So right here, we're keeping it wiggling. Nice. So we're getting Mr. P nice and tired. But again, you maybe would do about 10 to 15 minutes of play, see where you're at for mental and physical capabilities, and then gauge how well he's doing. And if he's turning into more of a wilder boy throughout some of your play, that means he's already way too tired. So if you're finding the play is almost revving the engine, then don't go in that direction. So if play is getting him more excitable and more disconnected from his brain, that already means he's overstimulated or overtired. So I would think more calming exercises, sits, working puppy push-ups, working a bit with place, working some find its with recall. All of those skills could be much better, or even a chew or a lick item. Because if he's already really tired and now you're adding more fuel to that excitement by chasing and tugging and doing other things, those are great ways to expend some good energy, but we don't want to take a really tired puppy, make them so overtired that now they're having trouble coping. So that's where you'd be a little cautious as to how hard or how much you're doing of certain things. So right here, we might go, Peter, come. He's like, oh my gosh, slowly making it. Good job. So, but we'll give Mr. P a little breather. He's doing such a stellar job. But again, guys, if any questions or concerns arise when you're practicing, just feel free to check in. But don't forget about the slew of resources that were sent along earlier, because those are great references to do here on the side. Excuse me again, seltzer is a bad idea. Ready, Peter? Nice. We'll give Mr. P a little breather. He did stellar. Oh my gosh, minus the chewing and walking is sometimes a little bit more challenging. We'll give him a little breather and then we'll rotate through the boys again. But super job, Mr. P.